Hello everyone. This is our first tutorial video. We hope you find it useful. Now we need a good model to inspire us, and we can find a good story around it. We are using Sketchfab to find models because there are awesome designers here, and we can use some of them freely in our works as long as we add attribution for their models on description. I'm looking a single model because it's easier to build a story around it, and it's a good way to show how imagination works on conceptual scenes. Okay, I found good one. This van looks very inspiring and looking cool. I want to use this. You need to check the model's copyright terms first. Some artists let people use their models as long as you write attribution, and some of them don't want you to use it at all. So I need to check it now. It says CC attribution, which is good for our project. You can learn more details about copyright on that page. Always respect artists' terms. I'm gonna download it now. I always prefer GLTF format because somehow all of textures imported into the scene very smooth and easily. Most of time I'm spending extra time for add textures correctly if I download FBX format. So I suggest you to use GLTF and GLB formats. Okay, now we can import the model to the Blender scene. There is no extra settings when you import it. Usually some of the models come with separated parts. I suggest you to join all parts into one object, so it will be easy to play with it. It's a huge problem if you want to use scanned model because there are lots of separated faces, and if you forget to join them, you're going to lose time to choose them again. We have no light in the scene at the beginning, and I want a clear light to see model clearly. We don't need artistic light, and I'm going to add sky texture to world. That will do. I always define the angle of the model and distance between camera. It's kind of adding limits to help me to focus on scene. After that, I can build the scene around this composition easily. It's not necessary, but I prefer to activate ambient, occlusion, bloom, and other stuff to see it more high-quality way. It helps my imagination. I should turn off all of them later because it will be hard work for the computer. I wish we can work on the scenes with final quality. Now we can find a good environment to use. I'm feeling a survival vibe from the van, so I want to use a silent or dangerous place. Maybe it can be a chase scene. Okay, that looks promising. It's interesting tunnel and a little bit silent corner. We can place the van to this road and let's see what's going to happen next. It has CC attribution and it's okay for us. I'm going to download it as GLTF again. I actually found a good idea immediately after I placed the van to the road. I think it's going to look cool if I rotate the van like this, and it will be on 2 wheels because it's trying to turn in very high speed. This van can be a thieves' escape vehicle, or it can be a survivor van to try escape from some zombie attack. Both would work. The main point is in the conceptual scene is the story. You need wide imagination to build a scene quickly. Before we work on the scene, you need to clear emission from the models, because artists using it to present their models without shadows and lights. But we need shadows and lights to make it look like realistic, right? So don't forget to clear or unplug emission node. I decided to make the scene night, so I'm turning off the world lights. I think street lamps will be very stylistic for the area and the vehicle. I'm going to add some good lighting around now. I'm happy with the overall lighting. Now I want to choose a good angle for the camera, because I'm going to place everything inside of the frame. It's up to you when you need to choose the best angle. It's all about the story you want to tell. Do you want me to see van's details? Or someone will escape from the door at left side? For me, I don't want to show the other exit of the tunnel because it will cause more work for me to fill those areas with some buildings and other stuff. I'm not that patient man, so I prefer more simple solutions. Unfortunately, when you have emission for the car lights, it won't light the front side realistic way. To make it realistic, I need to add point light or spotlight. It's up to you and the area. Choice is yours. I'm going to try spotlight, but I will keep point lights at the end. As you can see, we can't see the details of van clearly, but it's important to have dramatic lighting on the main subject. So I'm imagining a good blue, red, and yellow lights around the van to bring all focus here. I want to add bright light to other side of the tunnel so it will make a good mystery about the tunnel. I realized that it's a little bit lagging with all settings turned on, and I decided to turn off whole settings for now. Now it's time to decide the frame and the view. It's very important because I won't move the camera for the next parts, and I need to place every object and characters according to basic composition rules. So it's necessary to make a choice at this point. I want to show the door and the van together, but as I said before, I don't need to show other side of the tunnel. Also, we don't need to see right part of the wall. Actually, that would be a good place for another story. I didn't like this signs because they have no use and they standing in front of the camera, so I need to remove them. Since it's scanned model, it's not easy to remove something like that. I'm lucky that it was only a sign. I'm avoiding to modify more complex parts usually. Obviously, this tunnel needs more lights, and I want to mix colors for more dynamic scene. Otherwise, if I would use only yellow light, it would look so boring. Now it's time to add some zombies to catch the van. Actually, our story is about the van which went into wrong way. Maybe we can call this work Dead End. I didn't think like that before. I'm using Mixamo for rigged characters. After you download it, you need to have Mixamo add-on on your Blender to convert armature into a control rig, which way more easier than standard way. There is an error because I pulled the character before I convert it, and sometimes characters' bodies distorting, so I suggest you to make this convert step without moving the model after you import it. Now I'm going to play with poses of the zombies and try to find good poses for attacking to the van. Some zombies will run and some of them catch it. We need more dynamic and unique poses for each zombies to keep the scene interesting. I want this zombie to hold to the van's side mirror and fly with it. That kind of extraordinary poses make the scene more funny. I'm going to pass these parts with fast forward because I'm working on boring pose settings and small light edits. So there is no interesting new info for now. I like to use Mid-Journey on this kind of scenes, and I want a specific zombie danger poster on the wall. I need to make some adjustments in Photoshop because the image has gray areas, which is not good for alpha mask. Thanks to previous experiences, I'm gonna fix it at the beginning. So the rule is simple. Blender will mask white and black areas when you plug the image to the alpha channel. So if it's gray, it's gonna add half mask. Now, it's ready for the blender. You need to connect image to alpha channel yourself because sometimes it automatically connects alpha to alpha and it won't work in some cases. I want to plug image base color to alpha so it can read black and white areas to mask. In case of you prepared wrong, you can add invert node to change masked area. I usually add some brightness contrast again, by the way. I think a tunnel lamp would be good for the top, so I'm going to add light and plane with emission material. Let's add some traffic props to fill the road and overall scene to make it more interesting. I'm going to add some barriers and fences. Also, I want the van hit some orange cones to show that this road was closed, but they entered here anyway. So we see the moment of hit. Orange cones are flying away, and that zombie falling behind because of van hit. With this simple trick, we achieved a good action at that point. Now it's time to add volumetric scatter, which is my favorite so far. If you realize that there are always volumetric fogs in real world, I mean you can't see mountains at far distance with same clarity because of distance. It's looking like a fog, but only because of the distance. So there are always small or big fogs and volumetric areas, especially in this kind of tunnels and places. You can call it dust too. Anyway, it would be unrealistic if I wouldn't add it. I'm going to add external van lights with emission material because its light spread is not looking enough for me. So I'm going to achieve realistic looking lights with a simple emission. I changed my mind about this zombie at the top of van because he should have already started to fly to the front because the van is turning. I'm gonna fix it quickly. Watch this part carefully because there is a very cool trick here. I'm talking about realism all the time, right? So we should see this moment blurry on van and moving objects. But how can you achieve that image? Here is the solution. If you animate the object before the last moment of the final result image, and if you turn on motion blur, you're going to catch the objects in moving moment. So it will add motion blur. The important part is, don't render your final result at the last keyframe because all movements will be stopped at that point. Just go back one frame, and you will have motion blurry scene as still image. Hope you find this trick useful. That's what I mean with the trick. Here is the result. I need to connect zombie and car lights to the van with parent object, so they will move with the van without extra effort to move them. I'm gonna apply same method to cones too because they were not blurry. I want a small camera movement for the final result. So I'm trying to decide start and final point of the movement. It's looking more interesting than still images and I like it. I baked indirect lighting and rendered the scene in Eve. Now it's time to make adjustments and final tweaks in Adobe Premiere. There is a very simple and fast method to make color corrections in Premiere. It's called Volumetric colors effect in video effects category. So you can work on details or overall colors with pre-made presets. I'm always using it because it's a very effortless way to make final tweaks. And we finished the scene. Thank you for watching and please support us on Patreon if you want us to keep making tutorials like this. Thank you all.